I am talking to Alexandra Bonte today. Alexandra, I'm really excited to talk to you. Tell us a little about yourself and what you do.
Well, Stephanie, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to share my story. So, my name is Alexandra-Victoria Bonte. I was actually born in London, raised between France, South Africa, Milan, to an Italian mother and an American father. I am married with two children and a half French husband, half Portuguese. And I've been living in Portugal for the last 11 years right now. I founded my company, my real estate agency, in 2014 in Portugal. And why did I do this, and what's my background? So, my background has nothing to do with real estate. I majored in finance actually in Paris. I got my MBA when I was 21, and I was thinking about going to London and doing finance, going into Morgan Stanley or another bank or else. But horses were my passion, and I decided to pursue my career as what I wanted to be, an Olympic athlete. But I did want to get my master's degree first. My parents had always told me as well, get your degrees, and I did that. And that's why I did that quite quickly. So on my way to deciding I have a dream in mind, I want to be an Olympic athlete, and I'd stopped horse riding for many years, but I put that in my head. I would be an Olympic athlete. I went to Germany and Holland. I trained very hard, and I did about 2 years of competitive horse riding. I got quite far until at one point I got injured and realized this isn't my path. And unfortunately, there are others that are more talented than I am. So with this being said, I decided to use my brains instead of maybe my skills as an athlete. And I started trading horses between Europe and the USA, and actually making quite a bit of money, which allowed me to go into my other business, which was real estate. So we began flipping apartments with my husband in Portugal. Now you need to understand that Portugal was completely different. Portugal at the time was a place that it was almost a ghost town. You would get there were no expats, there were empty buildings around. I was 21 when we moved to Portugal. There was just nobody there. So moving there with my husband, me, myself, and I playing house in this beautiful, gorgeous house that we paid nothing for at the time with our dogs, no children then. There was this opportunity, this land for building and creating properties, and there was a lack, I thought, of service industry. When I was looking for houses, I was looking for something that was, something people that would help me, that would reach out to me, maybe, tell me which good restaurants to go to. Nothing. So I was very much alone, a city girl, London, Paris, and here I come, no help whatsoever. So I told my husband, there's an opportunity in buying places, renovating them, and there's an opportunity for expats. But with expats, we need service. We need to do something. So that's where it popped in my mind. Let's do this. And we created the company, which is now Bonte Filipidis. It was before One Stop Properties, and set the agency. I asked my best friend from Paris to join me, and he joined me. He joined the company in 2016 when I was pregnant with my first child. And we created this company that aimed to really serve expats specifically, not only find them helping houses, but helping them create their life in Portugal, create their nest. And that means informing them, gathering them, creating communities. Essentially, I'm going to be very, very selfish when I say that I wanted to create a community to become my community because I didn't have one. And that's when I, as a woman especially, I said, I'm feeling very ostracized, and it's a very male oriented industry in Portugal. And I started creating these groups, these communities around, and I realized that our clients become our friends, and our friends can also work in our network and work in our company. I'm just giving this to you in a nutshell, but it basically means that that's when we started hiring people, and we're now a group of 28. And I hired a lot of women, especially around me, and that we're in the same social circle because I wanted to offer them something as well that wasn't necessarily served on a platter to me, but it's an opportunity to become financially independent, and an opportunity as well to expand their network, to expand their community. So it goes back all again to creating this bubble around us, people, and essentially becoming financially independent and helping others. And what are you going to do with that? and that goes into just kind of my ethos of how I like to do things.
Alexandra, thank you so much for telling us your journey to the company you set up with your husband. Um, I'm wondering, what is your main motivator?
Oh, I think my motivator per se would be it's a good one. My motivator is the drive to never feel alone or cornered. Now that's it's quite a tricky one. In the sense, never feel alone. I'm an only child, first of all. So I've always had a desire to be around people and people to be around others. So that goes back to community. And the other one is never to be cornered. So that means always being able to stand up on your own feet, be financially independent, and be able to do what you want to do, and then giving that back to others and giving that opportunity. So I don't believe in the person that doesn't do anything or that feels sorry for themselves. I believe in getting up and doing more. And there's only, there are only that many hours in the day, but there's so much you can do with the right attitude.
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm wondering, you obviously got into Portugal at the right time. It's been booming in the last years. You've also expanded. Tell us a little bit what that feels like when you tap into something and then it really happens.
Portugal wasn't what it used to be, and it's been booming especially for the last 5 years. And to be able to be on that wave feels like I've realized something, that we've managed something, that we picked the right place at the right time. We were there and we're growing with it. And what's beautiful is we're contributing back to it. I'm also a real estate developer as well, on member of many charities. And when you're growing in that right direction, you're also expanding it, and you're seeing all these people come in, you're seeing newcomers, and you're seeing how much they enjoy the country and what the country has to offer as much as we do. And we humbly say we are expats, we're not Portuguese. I'm not Portuguese. So it's beautiful to be able to say, look at what this country is offering us and how welcoming they are to us as well.
That's beautiful. Um, what would you say is your superpower, Alexandra? What makes you so good at what you do?
What makes me, I don't like to say as so good as what I do. I believe it's number one, it's determination, ambition, and I'm going to say little sleep, but that's on me. Little sleep, it just means that I have something in mind. And if I have that in mind, I'm driven and I will get that done. I will get that done. And I will make sure to always deliver on what I say. And I think that's important in this industry, and also in life in general.
Alexandra, what top tips would you give other women?
Number one tip that I would give to other women is, first of all, start having a positive attitude, in the sense that look at the glass half full. So that there's a lot, at the moment we're talking a lot about meditation and other things, gratefulness, but it's essential. If you see the glass half full, no matter how bad the situation can be, there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always a way. Number two is surround yourself with the right people as well. If you're in a group of people that may not be the right influence on you, or that may bring you down, it may be time to cut those cords and start being around people that lift you up. And that goes the same thing as also in relationships. If you are with somebody that's not the right fit for you and that cuts you down, that belittles you, that's not the right fit for you as well. You need to become independent. You need to look after yourself in any way possible. That doesn't just mean financially independent, but that means being a role model, especially us as women. We're made to have children. If we do have children, even if we don't, we are role models for others. And I believe that we need to pass that on. And that means essentially doing what you love to do and making sure you do that. And nobody can tell you the contrary.
That's
So
very powerful words. Thank you for saying that. Alexandra, what would be, I mean, you've been very successful in the last many years. What are you planning? Where is the journey going for you, your company? What are the dreams that you dream?
My dreams are big. They may be, but they're never too big, I say. There's a few things that I'm working on the pipeline at the moment. Essentially, I'm creating a real estate development, which is based on sustainable materials, communitarian living. And I'm not going to say much more because that's in the works, but that's something that's very important to me at the moment. And how we look at the planet is using sustainable materials as well. So that's one of the things that I'm doing as well. I also have a venture capital fund that I partnered in as well. So that goes back into real estate development and helping Portugal grow, essentially. The third thing we're doing is we're expanding abroad. We're expanding our company, our agency to other countries as well, including Spain, a little bit of France, and some other countries too that are in the pipeline. So there's lots of things. And on a personal side, being much more involved. I'm part of the Women's Luso Indian Chamber of Commerce, helping other women, again in the same aspect of growing their businesses, growing themselves personally. I do want to help and give back, and that's what I do as well through my channels, is helping give information, but also giving advice of don't give up. You know you can do it.
Amazing, Alexandra. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
You're very welcome, Stephanie. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time and considering me. I feel exceptionally honored as a woman.